The Seattle docks at midnight were no place for someone like me, but insomnia had driven me from my apartment to walk the waterfront. The fog rolled in thick from Puget Sound, muffling the sounds of the city behind me. Before I continue with the rest of the story, kindly do me a little favor. Please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment your favorite part of the story below. I love reading your thoughts and reactions. They truly keep me going. Now allow me to take a moment to appreciate you. Yes, you. Thank you for making us a 32-strong community. Each one of you is a pillar of strength, color, and courage. This journey wouldn't be possible without your love, your voice, and your presence. You are making the queer community proud, and I see every one of you. Your support is not just a number, it's a movement. It's light in the dark. It's love, loud and unashamed. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for standing with me. Thank you for being you. Now back to the story. That's when I saw him. He stood at the end of Pier 47, a silhouette against the moonlight reflecting off the water. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a dark jacket that made him blend into the shadows. Something about his stillness drew me forward, even though every rational part of my brain screamed danger. He turned as I approached, and even in the dim light, I could see his eyes, dark, assessing, holding secrets I suddenly wanted to uncover. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice rough like whiskey and smoke. "Neither should you." His name was Cole, though he offered it reluctantly, like giving away a piece of himself he couldn't afford to lose. He had calloused hands and scars on his knuckles, and when he lit a cigarette, the flame briefly illuminated a face that belonged in old movies, all sharp angles and hidden depths. "What brings you to the docks, city boy?" he asked, studying me with an intensity that made my skin warm despite the cold wind off the water. "Couldn't sleep." "You?" "Work." He didn't elaborate, and something told me not to push. We stood in comfortable silence, watching the water lap against the pier supports. The fog swirled around us like a living thing, creating a pocket of isolation in the middle of the city. "I should go," I said, though I made no move to leave. "Should..." He flicked his cigarette into the water. "But you won't." Cole was right. I didn't leave. Instead, I found myself returning to the docks the next night and the night after that. Each time he was there, waiting like he knew I'd come. "This is becoming a habit," he observed on the third night. "Bad habits are hard to break." "Who says it's bad?" His smile was barely visible in the darkness, but I felt its impact like a physical touch. Tonight, he led me further along the waterfront, past the tourist areas, to where working boats bobbed at their moorings. The smell of salt and fish and diesel fuel filled the air, mixing with something else. Something dangerous and exciting that seemed to emanate from Cole himself. "Tell me about yourself," I said as we walked. "Nothing to tell." "Everyone has something to tell." He stopped walking, turning to face me. "What do you want to know, Nathan?" The way he said my name sent shivers down my spine. "This way," Cole said, leading me between towering stacks of shipping containers. The metal walls created narrow corridors that blocked out the city lights, leaving us in a maze of shadows and moonlight. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere private." My heart hammered against my ribs as I followed him deeper into the industrial labyrinth. Everything about this was dangerous. Following a stranger I barely knew into isolated spaces where no one would hear me scream. But I wasn't screaming. I was breathless with anticipation. Cole stopped in a small clearing between containers, a space hidden from view, but open to the sky above. Moonlight streamed down, turning everything silver and surreal. "Why did you bring me here?" I asked. "Because you keep coming back. Because you want something from me." He stepped closer. "Question is, what?" "I don't know what I want," I admitted, the honesty surprising us both. Cole's laugh was low, knowing. "Yes, you do. You're just afraid to say it." He was close enough now that I could smell his cologne mixed with cigarettes, and something uniquely him. Close enough that when he reached out to touch my face, I didn't pull away. "You want to know what I think?" he said, thumb tracing my cheekbone. "Tell me." "I think you're tired of being safe." tired of your predictable life with your predictable job and your predictable friends. His hand moved to the back of my neck. I think you came here looking for something real. The accuracy of his assessment hit me like a physical blow. And what are you looking for? Someone who isn't afraid of the dark. Are you afraid? Cole asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Should I be? Probably. His hands framed my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. I'm not a good man, Nathan. I do things that would shock your clean, safe world. Like what? Like this. When he kissed me, it was nothing like the gentle first kisses I was used to. This was claiming, possessive, filled with a hunger that matched my own. I felt myself responding despite every warning bell in my head. My hands fisting in his jacket as I pulled him closer. Still want to know what I do for work? He asked against my lips. No, I breathed. I don't care. Cole's apartment was a studio above a marine supply shop, sparse and functional with windows that looked out over the harbor. Everything about it screamed temporary, like he could disappear at a moment's notice. Not what you expected? He asked, watching me take in the space. I didn't have expectations. Liar. He moved to the kitchen, which was barely more than a hot plate and mini fridge. Coffee. It's 3 a.m. So, I found myself smiling. Coffee sounds good. As he worked, I studied the few personal items scattered around. A photo of a woman who looked like him, some books in what looked like Russian, a knife collection that made me wonder again what exactly Cole did for a living. My sister, Cole said, noticing me looking at the photo. She died 5 years ago. I'm sorry. Cancer. She was 26. He handed me a mug of coffee that was stronger than anything I'd ever tasted. She's why I came to Seattle. From where? Boston. Different life, different name. He sat across from me on the small couch. Sometimes starting over is the only way to survive. I wanted to ask about the different name, about what he was running from, but something in his expression warned me off. Instead, I asked, do you regret it? Starting over? Not anymore. 3 weeks of midnight meetings had turned into something I couldn't name, but couldn't give up. Cole remained mysterious, dangerous, but there were moments of tenderness that caught me off guard. The way he'd touch my hand when I got nervous, how he positioned himself between me and any perceived threat during our walks. I have to go out of town for a few days, he told me one night as we sat on the pier. Work. Yeah. He was quiet for a long moment. Will you wait for me? The question hung between us, loaded with meaning. We'd never defined what this was, these midnight encounters that had become the center of my world. Yes, I said simply. Relief flickered across his features. Good. The 3 days Cole was gone felt like 3 weeks. I went to the docks anyway, standing where we'd first met, trying to understand how someone I'd known for less than a month had become so essential to my existence. On the third night, I wasn't alone. You're Nathan, a voice said behind me. I turned to find a man about Cole's age, but softer, wearing an expensive suit that looked out of place on the waterfront. Who's asking? Someone who cares about Cole's safety. And yours. He stepped closer. He's not who you think he is. I know exactly who he is. Do you? Do you know what he did in Boston? Why he had to disappear? Cole killed someone, the stranger said bluntly. Self-defense, but the law didn't see it that way. He's been running ever since. The words hit me like ice water. You're lying. I wish I was. He pulled out a business card. My name is Marcus Webb. I'm a federal marshal. Cole's been on our radar for 2 years. I stared at the card, my hand shaking. What do you want? Help us bring him in. Peacefully. Before someone gets hurt. No. Nathan. No. I backed away from him. I don't care what he's done. I won't betray him. Marcus's expression softened slightly. He's dangerous. You need to understand that. The only thing I understand is that you're asking me to destroy the best thing that's ever happened to me. Cole knew something was wrong the moment he saw me. We met at our usual spot on the pier. But the easy intimacy between us was strained by the weight of what I now knew. "What happened while I was gone?" he asked, studying my face. "A federal marshal came to see me. Marcus Webb." Cole went very still. "What did he tell you?" "That you killed someone in Boston. That you're running from the law." For a long moment, the only sound was water lapping against the pier supports. Then Cole sighed, suddenly looking older, more tired. "It's true." "Tell me what happened." "Why?" "So you can decide if I'm worth the risk." "So I can understand." We walked to Cole's apartment in silence, the weight of his confession hanging between us. Once inside, he poured himself a drink and sat heavily on the couch. His name was Victor Petrov. Cole began. He was my sister's boyfriend, also her dealer. I sat beside him, close enough to offer comfort, but not touching. When the cancer got bad, she started using more to deal with the pain. Victor encouraged it, said it was better than what the doctors were giving her. Cole's hands clenched into fists. She overdosed 3 days before she was supposed to start a new treatment that might have saved her. "Cole," I confronted Victor. It was supposed to be a conversation, but he laughed, said she was weak, that he'd already found a replacement. Cole's voice turned hollow. "I hit him. Once. He fell, hit his head on the corner of a table. Just like that, he was dead. The police didn't see it as self-defense." Cole continued. "Victor had connections, money. They painted me as the unstable brother seeking revenge. So you ran. What choice did I have? Life in prison or starting over?" He looked at me finally. I chose freedom. I understood now why he'd seemed so dangerous, so guarded. He was living on borrowed time, waiting for his past to catch up with him. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now you decide if you can live with what I am, what I've done." The choice was clear, even if it terrified me. I already decided. I'm staying. "Nathan, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly." I took his hands in mine. "I love you." The words hung in the air between us, transformative and terrifying. Cole stared at me like I'd spoken in a foreign language. "You can't love me," he said finally. "Too late. I'm a fugitive. A killer. You're the man who holds me like I'm precious, who makes me feel alive for the first time in my life." I moved closer. "You're the man I love." Something broke in Cole's expression, years of walls crumbling. "God, Nathan, I love you too, but this can't work. They'll never stop looking for me." "Then we leave. Together." "You give up your life for me?" "What life? My job? My empty apartment? You are my life now." Over the next few days, we planned our disappearance with the precision of a military operation. Cole had contacts from his old life, people who could provide new identities, safe passage out of the country. "Canada first," he explained, showing me routes on a map. "Then maybe Europe. I have some money saved, enough to get us started." "What about Webb? He'll be watching." "Let me worry about Webb." But I was already worrying about everything. Leaving behind everyone I'd ever known, building a life based on a lie, the constant fear of discovery. When Cole saw my expression, he cupped my face in his hands. "We don't have to do this," he said. "You can still walk away." "No," I said firmly. "We're in this together." Our final night in Seattle felt apocalyptic and beautiful. We made love with a desperation born of knowing it might be our last time in this place, in these roles as the people we'd been before. Afterward, lying in Cole's arms, I traced the scars on his chest, evidence of a harder life than I'd ever known. "Are you scared?" he asked. "Terrified," I admitted, "but not of running, of losing you." "You won't lose me." His arms tightened around me. "Whatever happens, we face it together." "Promise." "Promise." Outside, the city slept on, unaware that 2 of its residents would be gone by morning. Dawn found us at a private marina south of the city, boarding a fishing boat, whose captain asked no questions and accepted payment in cash. The fog was thick, providing cover as we slipped away from shore. I stood at the stern, watching Seattle fade into gray mist, feeling like I was watching my old life disappear. Cole's hand found mine, steady and warm. "Regrets?" he asked. "None." I squeezed his fingers. "You? Just one? What's that?" "I wish I'd found you sooner." The boat cut through calm water toward the Canadian coast, carrying us toward an uncertain but shared future. Behind us, the past dissolved into fog and memory. 6 months later, we stood on another dock in a small fishing village on the Nova Scotia coast. Cole, now David, worked on the boats, his callous hands finally finding honest work. I had started writing freelance articles that paid enough to supplement our simple life. "Happy?" Cole asked one evening as we watched the sunset paint the water gold. "Happier than I ever imagined possible. Even living like this, always looking over our shoulders." I turned to face him fully. "I'd rather live one real day with you than a lifetime of safety without you." He kissed me then, soft and sure, the taste of salt air and new beginnings on his lips. Around us, the small harbor settled into evening quiet, fishing boats bobbing gently at their moorings. "I love you, Nathan," he murmured against my mouth. "I love you too, David." The new name still felt strange sometimes, but the love was real as the water beneath our feet, as constant as the tides that brought us together and carried us forward into whatever came next. That night, in our small apartment above the tackle shop, we made love with the windows open to the sea breeze, no longer desperate or afraid, but celebrating the life we'd chosen together. We'd left behind everything familiar for this, for each other, and discovered that sometimes the greatest adventures begin with the most dangerous choices. In the morning, we'd wake to another day of our new life, another day of being exactly who we were meant to be. But for now, wrapped in each other's arms, listening to the eternal rhythm of waves against the shore, we were home.